Alright folks, we're just about to hit the premiere of the Superman movie. While we're waiting for the trailer to drop, new info and theories are popping up bit by bit. One theory that circulated online last month actually lays out the whole story of the film. This possible leak includes details from beginning to end, and some of those details have been confirmed with the extended scene that was released, as well as some behind-the-scenes footage. Curious about what's gonna happen in the movie? We might be diving into some spoilers, so there's your heads up. Plus, we'll also talk about updates regarding the Clayface movie, so stick around for all the news about the DCU. Starting off with the Clayface film, according to The Wrap, filming is set to begin on October 1st, and the movie is slated for release on September 11th, 2026. The budget is set at $40 million, which is pretty low when you think about a Hollywood blockbuster. Looking at the timeline between filming and release, plus the low budget, it suggests there will be minimal CGI scenes in the movie. It's likely that the monster version of Clayface we're used to seeing, even appearing in Creature Commandos, will show up only at the movie's climax, which would require 90% of the CGI work. That's not confirmed, just my speculation on how the movie might unfold. Maybe Basil Karlo will gradually transform throughout the story, and by the end, we'll finally see the full monster, maybe even a brief cameo from Batman. It might even draw from Clayface's origin story from Batman Detective Comics, where we see Basil slowly change, and halfway through, Batman is looking for Clayface, only for him to fully become the monster we know at the end. On top of that, James Gunn himself posted an image on social media congratulating the villain, stating that the Clayface movie will hit theaters in 2026, so that's more than confirmed. Now, moving on to the possible leak regarding the Superman movie, I want to warn you again that there may be spoilers in this leaked description, but since we don't know if it's real or not, some things might not be true, so let's take a look. This complete description of the potential Superman story came out a while back on the DCU Leaks Reddit, and it has some plausible points, but there's no source and it's not insider info, just something that was posted. The description starts by mentioning that Superman is taken to the Fortress of Solitude to be healed by the robots working there. Right off the bat, this is the first piece of confirmed info. This leak came out on Reddit before the extended scene of Krypto bringing Superman to the fortress, making it the first detail that ended up being validated within days. Continuing with the description, Lex Luthor and his team are introduced. They hate Superman and hatch a scheme to eliminate him, teaming up with the government of a foreign nation to take control of a smaller country. Guys, this part isn't confirmed yet, but it totally makes sense. There were old rumors that said there would be conflicts in a foreign country, and that Superman wanted to intervene. This tracks because in the teaser from December, we see scenes of conflict happening in a foreign land, and the connection with Lex Luthor is what makes the most sense, in my opinion. At the Daily Planet, Jimmy Olsen acts as expected, but here's the twist: the ladies are obsessively crushing on him, and he can't escape their attention. This might be a different take on Jimmy Olsen, but if you think about it, throughout various versions of Jimmy Olsen over the years, he often found himself romantically linked to different characters. He wasn't the most desired guy, but he always ended up in relationships with unexpected characters, like Supergirl in My Adventures with Superman. Moving on with the description, at the Daily Planet, Lois is curious about how Clark gets all these exclusive interviews with Superman, creating a bit of tension. That night, Lois goes to her apartment and finds Clark there. It's revealed that they've secretly been dating for 3 months, and she already knows he's Superman. All that workplace tension between them is just part of their cute little game. In the living room, Lois complains that Clark always interviews Superman. She jokingly turns on the mic to record him. Clearly, this is all playful banter, but their conversation turns into a long discussion about foreign policy and Superman's involvement. Regarding the relationship between Lois and Clark, I really appreciate how it's highlighted, and I can totally see this happening in the movie. It also aligns with some scenes we saw in the teaser, so we'll definitely see good development in Clark's relationship with Lois, being one of the key points of the film. Lex Luthor unleashes monsters in the city to fight Superman, but our hero takes them down. Additionally, this leak specifies that the team of heroes we see in the trailer is called the Justice Gang. The Justice Gang shows up to assist in the fight. They're basically the Guardians of the Galaxy. Once again, we have that detail confirmed from Superman Day, which is the name of the hero group in the movie. As for the comparison with the Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it's due to Guy Gardner, who leans more toward comedy. He's that kind of character. You can check out more about this Justice Gang revelation in the video linked in the card popping up on your screen. It covers everything from Superman Day, so check that out after this video. Continuing with the description, it mentions that at some point, Luthor invades the Fortress of Solitude. He's going to unlock messages from Jor-El regarding Superman. Lex is going to take those messages from Jor-El and twist them to make it look like Superman was sent to Earth to conquer it, using that as fake news to totally wreck Superman's credibility. Lex Luthor's distorted messages turn humanity against Superman, making him an outcast. Rejected by the world, Superman returns to his human family. In a way, this mirrors what happens in the comic Superman, Birthright, where Lex Luthor tricks people into turning against Superman. And we know this detail about Lex is definitely gonna happen because of that scene we saw where Lex and Ultraman show up at the Fortress of Solitude. Lex Luthor has access to the Pocket Universe, where he traps people he hates, including ex-girlfriends. Lex brutally beats Krypto and takes him to that universe. Somehow, Superman also ends up trapped there. This connects with the scene where we see Superman imprisoned, and this detail about the Pocket Universe came up again in some info shared days later, which I also covered on the channel. This Pocket Universe might initially seem like some kind of phantom zone, which pops up a lot in Superman stories, but this universe exists in the comics as well. Lois and the Justice Gang find Superman's location in the Pocket Universe through Jimmy, who has been secretly messaging Luthor's girlfriend. Eventually, Superman escapes this Pocket Universe through pixelated lava, which sounds like something out of Minecraft. Now, I wasn't too thrilled with how they discovered Superman's location, but this leaked description doesn't provide much detail about the plot, nor does it elaborate on how the characters will relate to each other throughout the movie. So, maybe that part that I wasn't so keen on might not be a big deal in the film. We'll just have to wait and see. Continuing with the description, Superman saves some people and battles the foreign army, winning the forgiveness of the public. The best action scene, as good as the hallway scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, features Mr. Terrific. Now, that gets me pumped. The hallway action scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is fantastic, and if we really get something similar in the movie with Mr. Terrific, that'd be incredible. I can't wait to see it. Superman uncovers Luthor's plans with the foreign nation. He lets the government know, but Luthor strikes back revealing that he cloned Superman. A fight ensues between Superman and his clone, who shares his DNA and can access the Fortress of Solitude. Superman defeats the clone, and Luthor gets sent to prison. This could very well be the movie's final battle, and there's no mystery there. Ever since we found out Ultraman was in the film, it's been theorized that he might be the clone of Superman created by Lex Luthor. In a sense, he's like a Bizarro, but not necessarily the Bizarro. Or who knows, he might even turn into Bizarro by the end of the film or in the future of the DCU. These theories about who Ultraman is are pretty old and definitely make sense here. Moving on in the description, Superman heads back to the Fortress of Solitude, where a drunk version of Supergirl shows up. She had asked Superman to look after Krypto for a week. Guys, among the various rumors and info that have come out about this movie, one suggested that the story would unfold episodically over 7 days, with Superman facing various challenges laid out by Lex Luthor during that time. Some might not like that format, but honestly, I dig the idea. The comic All-Star Superman is basically that, each chapter is an adventure or challenge Superman faces over the days, kind of like the 12 Labors of Hercules. And I really like the detail about Supergirl. It's gonna be cool to see her make an appearance in the movie. Given that she's asking Superman to care for Krypto for a week, it seems likely that Krypto will also show up in the Supergirl movie, much like in the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow comic, where Krypto is one of the main characters involved in the story. The description wraps up with a scene where Superman leans back, asking to see his family again, but instead of Jor-El, he sees his human family. And that's the description of the leaked story that made its way online. Of course, it might not be entirely true, but many of the details revealed about the movie days after align with this description, so there's a chance this leak is legit. But there's a catch. This description doesn't provide much info about most of the characters we know are in the film. There's no mention of Metamorpho or Engineer, and since it's just a description, we don't get to see how the characters will interact, which is something James Gunn excels at. So this leak doesn't exactly have total credibility. We'll have to wait for the movie's release to see if it's true, and once it's out, I'll be bringing a video here on the channel breaking down what was real or fake regarding the Superman rumors. If you don't want to miss any updates about Superman, go ahead and smash that super like on this video and hit that super subscribe button here on the channel. We're keeping up with everything happening in the DCU and bringing you the info so you're always in the loop, so make sure to subscribe. Also, drop a comment below with your thoughts on this leak and what we've heard about Clayface. Are you excited for Clayface? Did you dig this story description for the Superman movie? Let me know down there. If you want to stay in the know about everything superhero related and receive even better videos in greater quantities, consider supporting us through the thanks button near the subscribe buttons. That way, you help us invest even more in the channel, and you'll get more high quality videos in return. Thank you so much for all the support you give us. The videos popping up on your screen now are the latest updates about Superman in the DCU, so check those out to get caught up on everything. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.